everybody and welcome to my channel, So Sarah Sewed. Welcome back to my channel if you are someone who's been with me for a little while. It has been a long time between videos. The last few months have been very different for me than the months before in terms of finding time to be able to make these videos. To put it simply, my husband and I have separated, and so there's been a whole lot of change in my family life and what's going on at home, and other things have been taking priority apart from making these videos and even just finding time for my own sewing. But I am really excited to be back here today and sharing a little bit of my plans for what I'm going to be hopefully working on in November. So the last few months, basically I've been spending all of my free time gardening or cleaning or decluttering and getting this house ready to sell. But I'm now in a position where I feel like I've got a little bit of free time and I'm getting the machine out a little bit again as well. So from a practical side, I used to be in the very fortunate position of having my sewing machine set up all the time. But now with the changes, I am needing to put that away and then just get it out at certain times. So there's not as much time to sew, but I am luckily now finding a little bit here and there. What hasn't changed though is my ability to keep knitting. Knitting I'm finding is just a much easier thing to be able to pick up and put down very, very simply. I keep my project just in a small bag and I can take it with me everywhere, and I do take it with me everywhere. I take it to the kids' swimming lessons. Whenever they go for a play in the park, I might get a chance to sit down and knit there as well. So I have been keeping on going with the knitting projects, and I'm excited to now get back into the sewing as well. So thank you so much for sticking with me and returning to my channel. I am planning now on getting back into my schedule of two videos a month. So one where I talk about my plans and one where I share my makes from the previous month. I realize I haven't put out a video of anything I made in July, August, September, October. So that will be coming very soon. I did get a few things made up in July. Things then slowed down after that. So I'll put all of those months together in an upcoming video. But today my video is about what I'm planning to make in November. First of all, I'll just let you know what I'm wearing. I wear this all the time. It's a Billie jumper by Tilly and the Buttons. I've made it in a French terry designed by Margaret Jean from Nerida Hanson Fabrics. And I've done the balloon sleeve version. So I'll stand up and show you. I love this jumper. I wear it all the time, all year. It gets thrown over whatever I'm wearing, and it's just a really comfortable extra layer. All right, so moving on to my plans for November. My first plan is something I have made a start on this week. I had the foresight when I was packing up my machine and everything to cut out a new project, just in the hope that maybe I'd be able to get it out when the time was right, and it has happened. And that is the Arthur Pants by Sew Liberated. I have made a pair of the Arthur Pants before. I made a pair of eggplant coloured linen Arthur Pants earlier in the year, and I haven't had a heap of wear out of them. I think mainly because of the colour, but also they're quite a statement to wear, and also I think I just made them slightly too short to be able to wear comfortably in the cooler months. So I'm hoping once things warm up, which is taking a while here, I'll wear them more with summer outfits. This time I'm making a pair of black woolen ones. I bought some black wool, it must have been 2 years ago. I think it's a wool suiting, and I'm hoping that these will make a really nice pair of Arthur Pants. It's a very, very drapey fabric. The Arthur Pants have a really, really voluminous shape. So they're very, very wide around the hips. And the version I'm making is the fly front version. And so the front has a fly closure and then the back has elastic. Now my measurements put me around the size 14 mark, and I decided last time to make a size 10, which worked really well for me. And so I'm going to make a size 10 again this time. Interestingly, when you look at the finished garment measurements, there is about 25 inches of ease in the hips. So it's very safe, I'd say, to size down, especially if you want to reduce a little bit of that drama of the pant shape. So that's what I'm doing. So far I have constructed the back, and I've now been moving on to the front where I have been inserting the zip. So you can just sort of see the two front centerpieces are just coming together at the moment. I like to put washi tape on my pattern pieces to just remember which way is the front and or the right side, and it peels off really easily. So that's what that is. But I'm hopeful that I'll finish these pants in the first week of November. This pattern is available up to a 57-inch hip, but as I mentioned before, there is a whole lot of ease in the hips. And actually that finished garment measurement for the hips of the largest size is actually 81 inches. So I think this is a really size inclusive pattern. I'm also considering adding belt loops to these pants. I've seen a couple of people do that on Instagram and be able to add a belt to it to maybe just dress them up a little bit more. So I will try and do that. I think I'm having a little bit of difficulty working with this particular fabric just because it's so hard to press. It doesn't press easily like my linen pair did. So, and all of these seams, almost all of them are flat felled, so there's a lot of pressing involved. So that's a little bit of a challenge so far. But hopefully I'll end up with a pair of pants that I find really practical. This time I've actually decided not to shorten them so much. So the first time I shortened them by 3 3/4 inches and they just turned out just that little bit too short. So this time I'm trying to shorten them just by 2.5 inches. So the pants were drafted for someone of a height of 5'7", and I'm about 5'2" or 3". So I'm hoping that taking 2.5 inches off will help. The next item I'm planning to make is another repeat for me. It's the Galaxy Tee by Pattern Scissors Cloth. Now this is a free pattern and it's a really cute little, it's quite high neckline t-shirt with puff sleeves, and then they've got a cuff. And actually I'm wearing one under this jumper today. I wear mine all the time. The one I'm wearing today is made from a bamboo and it's so drapey and so lovely to wear. So I've decided to make another one, but this time I'm making it in a linen jersey. So I bought a black linen jersey from My Design, again, months ago. And I think this will be a really practical addition to my wardrobe as well. I wear a lot of black for work when it comes to performances. I'm a choir conductor and a music teacher at my school. And we have a lot of events where most of the teachers wear black. I made an Anthea blouse, a black Anthea blouse earlier in the year, which has got a lot of wear this year, but it will be really nice to have a comfortable jersey option that I'm sure will get lots of wear at those kinds of events, but just in general use as well. I can't find the actual fabric. It's in a tub somewhere under a bed or in the garage or somewhere like that. But I'm confident I'll find it and I'll be able to make this t-shirt up this month. I'd really like to make a woven top this month as well, and I have a few fabrics to choose from. I'm thinking of making the Merchant & Mills Florence top. It's not a pattern that I own, but I'm really drawn to it. It's a swing kind of top. It's kind of got a peplum at the bottom, but it goes higher at the back than at the front, and then it has a button closure at the back as well. I love the shape of it, and I hope it would suit me. I have a couple of fabrics to choose from for this, but I am leaning towards a Lady McElroy cotton lawn that I purchased from My Design earlier in the year, might have even been last year, and that is this Faces pattern. I bought this thinking it would make a good patina blouse by the Friday Pattern Company, but when I was looking at this Merchant & Mills Florence top pattern, I thought, well, this could work really well for that too. So I'm interested to know your thoughts on that one. The other fabric I've got that doesn't have a purpose yet or a plan for yet is this yarn dyed cotton that I would have bought over a year ago. So you can see a theme here. I'm really trying to work through my stash, not buying anything new at the moment. So I reckon I've got about 3 meters of this one. So I've been trying to decide whether I should make a dress with this or maybe a top and a skirt. But this is another option for the Florence top. It's quite a lightweight cotton with this grid pattern all through it. So I think that could work quite well for this top as well. I'll put some line drawings in so that you can see the design. This pattern also comes as a dress, but I'm definitely drawn to making the top at this point and seeing how I go. I've never made any Merchant and Mills patterns before, so I'm looking forward to trying something new. If you've been following along this year, you'll know that I've been trying to complete a hand-stitched quilt. I've been working on it for a long time, and my plan this year was to finish a block a month. It's made up of 9 blocks, and I was on track at the start of the year, and then, you know, stuff's happened and I haven't had a chance to do much of that recently. But what I did do recently was stumble across my missing pieces. So you might have seen an earlier video in which I talked about losing a whole packet of cutout pieces that were intended for one of the blocks, and I ended up cutting out some more pieces. I didn't even have all the right fabrics. I was going to have to get a little bit creative with finding some different fabrics that kind of worked. But when I was clearing out cupboards and things, I found just a box by itself, a random pink box, and inside it was a whole lot of Sharpies and the missing pieces just by themselves in this box. So now I have no excuse that will stop me from finishing off that quilt top. Whether I finish it in November, I'm not sure, but I will try and at least make some progress with that 9th block. It is the last one, and then of course I have to sew all the 9 blocks together. But I thought you might enjoy knowing that I did find that missing packet of pieces, and I knew it was somewhere. I knew it would turn up somewhere someday, and I'm pleased to have found it. As I mentioned, I have been continuing with my knitting on a fairly regular basis. I try and knit at least a little bit each day. And recently I've been making a cowl. It's going to be a Christmas present for my children's guitar teacher. And it's a really, really simple project. It is a free pattern by Kelly McClure, and it's called the Sockhead Cowl. And it's basically just 10 centimeters of rib, and then knit a whole lot, and then 10 centimeters more of rib. And I'll show you where I'm up to with that. So you can see I've done the first rib section, and I'm now into the knitting section, and I've got a little bit to go, and then I'll do some more ribbing. So the fun thing about this project is that you just can use one skein, 100 gram skein of any 4-ply wool that you have. I happen to have this beautiful wool left over from a fade set that I bought. I bought a set that had 6 100 gram skeins of sock weight yarn in it, and I've made a jumper out of those, out of the other 5, but the 6th one I had left over, and I thought this would make a really nice cowl. My son's guitar teacher wears a lot of earthy colors. She wears a lot of dark greens and oranges. She's got red hair herself, and I think that this will just suit her so beautifully. So I think she'll like it. She does seem to wear a lot of wool. She wears a lot of woolen scarves, I've noticed. And I'm thinking as a guitarist, having a cowl rather than a scarf could be a very practical way to warm your neck. So I think she'll like it, and we'll wait and see. I think I'll finish that cowl probably within the first half of November, which means I'll be looking to start a new knitting project, and I do have one lined up. So probably 6 months ago, I bought a kit for a knitting pattern, and it's from a company called MYPZ. And I think they're in Copenhagen, but I might be making that up. I'll put a link in the description box below to their website and to any other patterns and things that I'm talking about today as well. But this pattern really caught my eye. It's quite different to anything I'd seen anywhere else. And that's because not only is it a beautiful shape, it's got these ruffled sleeves, but it's got beads all over it, which you add with an embroidery needle, I think, at the same time. I'm gonna have to obviously look at the instructions really carefully as I go, but I'm really excited about this one. I'll show you the yarn that's come with kit. So the whole thing is knit with this beautiful baby alpaca yarn. This is so soft, I can't even describe how beautifully soft this is, but it's held at the same time with a mohair, and the mohair is this really beautifully variegated pastels. I'll show you. It's much harder to describe, I think, than to just show you. So this one says it's 74% baby suri alpaca and 26% silk. So holding these together will create a really beautiful fabric, and then adding those beads on the top as well will make a very, very special item, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. So the kit obviously also came with the beads, and they're all in here. Haven't even opened those because I'd hate to lose any of them, but the beads are in there. So I think with everything that's going on in my life, that is plenty of plans to keep me going through November. Once again, thank you so much for sticking with me and returning to my video today. I am really happy to be back chatting with you. Love to hear from you in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye bye.